old fella's travels. So I've been saying for a bit that that I have had a new setup in camp, and that I was going to, do a quick vid on it, which I'll do right now. So I suppose the explanation for why did I change, I know a lot of people are going to be asking, why not the rooftop tent, and the convenience of it and that. Well, look, I'll put down an explanation right at the very start, and that is, look, I love my rooftop tent, and I loved it on the car, the Drifter Stockton rooftop tent. I had the 1.4, I think, or 1.2 was it? But yeah, great temp. I'd converted to the self-inflating mattress. Really comfy, fantastic to sleep in. Easiest rooftop tent I've ever had. Well, the only rooftop tent I've ever had, but the easiest rooftop tent to put up and put down. And in comparison to what I've seen with others different rooftop tents, it's just crackerjack. Really well priced, really light. And I had it on the roof of my car for probably 12 months, and for that 12 months, probably 6 months of that, it was full use. And then I had it on the roof of the car a trip back to the Goldfields. It was just a quick trip before I went back and went to the golf, and then I put it on top of my my dot camper, and it was fantastic up there, But the only drawback in a rooftop tent is it doesn't give you anywhere to sit down and get away from the elements. You can have an awning which does it partially, but it doesn't keep you away from the flies. And I mean, if I was to go, if I decided I was going to go back touring in the cruiser tomorrow, and rooftop tent to go straight back on, and I'd refit out for for 1 day, 2 day, 5 day stopovers. That's ideally what they're for, and especially when you're doing trips much like Luke's doing now. The Cape trip is very similar. You probably stay no longer than 2 days at any one place, and the rooftop tent is just fantastic for that. You can pull in late, get it set up really quickly, self-inflating mattress goes up, your bedding's in there ready to go, and sit down around the fire, a few drinks, have something to eat, and then you're off to bed. Perfect. But here's the thing is, and I've got to tell you, I couldn't fault the rooftop tent, for the period of times, and it had some rough goings too, had some really rough weather. So yeah, the rooftop tent, love it. I'll have another one day, without a doubt. And but for now, I'm back full-time prospecting, and I've been prospecting for probably 3 years now, but this year I decided to go full-time. In the past I'd come over for, I think my longest spell was 7 months, a couple of months here and there. But now, as of this year, I've gone full-time. And when you go full-time and you're camping out on 40Es, and you're using 40Es to get on an exploration site, and prospect, that's 3 months. So this year I'm probably going to spend 8 months of the year out bush, and you need a base camp. You need somewhere that you can call home, basically, in the bush, because setting up a rooftop tent and putting it down every day to drive out prospecting and living under an awning and that sort of thing, it just doesn't cut it. Having on the dot, sure, it works, but it doesn't give you an area that you can just sit in, or it doesn't give you an area where you can get away from the flies, you can get away from the elements, you can get away from, you can sit down at the computer and do stuff. There's nowhere you can stand up and get changed with a bit of privacy. There's a lot of things that you really need when you're going to be spending 3 months at a time, up to 3 months at a time in the bush prospecting. You need something that you can call a little bit home, and so I've chosen to go a different direction for that. Now, this is not set in concrete. Things will change as my needs change in travelling and such. But enough of me rabbiting on. Let's have a look at the new setup, and I've got to tell you, I'm really liking it, and it hasn't cost me an arm and leg to do. Eventually I am going to go to a little off-road caravan. That's a no-brainer, because I'm going to be prospecting for quite a while. I expect 2 or 3 years at least, while it's suiting me. Having said that, I also needed something that was easy to set up and easy to pack down. So in view of that, you know, I've replaced the awning on the camper, on the Dot, with the new Drifter Stockton large awning, and that's just working a treat at the moment. Just loving that. I've got one wall on, but I will have 2 walls on the next stop. When I go back to Perth, I'm having a plate made up that will come over here, this end basically. It'll have gutters to you know, to give me some, I want a little bit more extra shelving there for the top, but also want to be able to have a gutter that runs across. And the roof, the awning's going to be moved further back, so I'll move the awning further onto this bracket, but I need something here that gives me a gutter on that side, comes across here and gives me a gutter down that side. Now the original rooftop tent had that, but it's an essential. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. You know, we've been living here for, I've been living out of it for a bit, and mostly Barnes goodies there. So apart from that, the Dot hasn't changed much. The fridge died, and so I've replaced it with a 40 litre Engel, which is all freezer. I have the 60 litre Engel in the back of the car still, which is my fridge. This basically just acts as a big pantry. When I'm at bush, I don't cook in there anymore. So also with the space here, all the sauces and everything in there, part of the pantry. I've got the table here still. The Snow Peak table, which I've had for a while. I find that ideal, but I don't need a large cooking area here anymore. And I cook purely on induction now. I carry a generator. I've got one of the new EU 22Is. Crack of a generator, starts every time, being a Honda of course. The awning gives a great area. Now on this side, from now on, this is my first test setup. So it's the first setup I've done, and just to get a feel for it. But there's a joiner that I'm going to get that will join the awning, and the awning that comes off of the Oztent RV3 that will cover this, which will allow me to join those, and it'll form a little gutter between the two. And it'll also there'll be a wall on this side that wasn't available at the time of purchase. So this side I have a wall on it, which gives me an enclosed area. So the RV3, it's a crack of a tent. I'm sure, you know, most of you guys have heard of them, but it's just so easy to set up. You know, it literally is, you know, a 5-minute setup. And you know, I've got my bedside table in there, I've got my self-inflating mattress, I've got my doona covers in there. Barnes has got water in there and some food, so if Barnes wants to drink during the night, which he used to drag me out of bed for, he can get up and have a drink. I've got the overflow pantry here in one of the Drifter Stockton LU boxes. They're fantastic. Keeps the dust and the moisture out. I mean, I've never had a problem with dust and that. It gets really dusty at ease, you might notice. The larger Drifter Stockton LU box, which that stores my clothes, so all my clothes are in there, dust free once again. The table set up with my computer as such. It's just a benefit at the moment because the weather's been so good. I can just have it outside, but remembering that there will be a wall coming down this side next time set up. I've got my lighting in here. No surprises, all Drifter stuff, I suppose, guys. Drifter Stockton chair, one of the best chairs you can get. Really, really comfortable. I've had a spark burn a hole in mine, so I'm about to replace it with a new one. So storage is the same. The Dot, not much has changed. You know, I've got my knives and forks and tea towels and that in there. I've got me, you know, my gas cooker now. I have gone with the jet boil gas cooker. They are fantastic, I love them. But I've also got the jet boil set there, and if I need to use gas, I can use that. I've got the jet boil, you know, the standard to boil the water. These are fantastic. I've been using it every day for about a year, I think. Even when I was staying working for Drifter and staying in the unit out the back, I used to use that to boil my water. So not much changed in the Dot. You can see I've got the dust ground sheets that these are fantastic. You know, the dust goes through them but it won't come up. That one there is the Oztent option that goes underneath the Oz tent as well. I think they call it a floor protector or base. Yeah, so I've started using these tie gear you know, systems. They're not cheap, but they're not expensive for what they are, I don't think. They're a fantastic system, but time will tell on how they go. I mean, they're just so easy to release and adjust. You've got this system here, but the tie gear, I'm using that at the moment and I love it. It just works a treat. So I carry two 20-litre jerry cans, fuel and water, just for a bit of extra water. My storage box at the front, around the other side. This solar panel, it's one of the new iTech World ones. It's fantastic, really robust, really strong, and you can have one paddle in the shade and it'll still generate power, unlike the earlier Red Arc one I had, that you'd have one paddle or even quarter of a panel shaded and the whole panel would almost shut down. Here's my shower section, you know, open air shower and toilet, which you can do out here. So still the dot shower system, but this is going to change. I'm actually going to go for a I'm actually going to put a small electric hot water service in here and use it as a mixer to get a water temperature. But that's something for the future that I'm still looking into. There's my wash point, my porta potty. Obviously this is where I have my shower. So I'll just do a quick walk around. The generator is fantastic. I don't use it much, but I only use it for cooking, and that's only due to the fact I don't have a 2000 watt inverter, which you need to drive them. I've only got a 300 watt inverter in the camper, and I could drive from the one in the car, but it's just not workable. So it's just a matter of cranking that up, and starts first time, run it for 20 minutes while I cook dinner. Another solar panel here. This is a solar panel that I got with the EcoFlow, with the EcoFlow air conditioner, portable camping air conditioning unit, that I use now just to keep the Blue Eddy box charged. So of course you need a power unit for, you know, to give you some sort of power unit for the tent. So I have this here. It gives me all my charging, you know, my lighting, works really well. And the only time I have to hit it with the generator is it works really well. I love this Blue Eddy, but I'm going to get the new model next year, which has wireless remote and it's a bigger unit and it's got nicer features, and it charges quicker too, by the way. But yeah, I love that Blue Eddy. I run my PC off it, my lighting off it, my charging point for all my prospecting gear and camera gear. You know, I use it for that. It's fantastic. And the only time I've had to run the generator on that was on a cloudy day when I was using the 240 for nearly the whole day, and it just wasn't getting enough charge of that panel, because that panel is only 120 watt. But normally I've been running the 240, the inverter, all day off of that, and up until just the last 20 minutes it was a nice sunny day and that panel was enough to keep it it's back on full charge again. But now it's, you know, it's a great area, and it fills those shortcomings that I was talking about. Now I have an area I can stand up, I can get dressed, I've got a really comfortable bedding area that I can sleep. The barn's sleeping. If the barn wants a drink, he can just get up and go and have a drink of water. You know, if he wants a bit of a nibble, he can just go and have a nibble there while we're at night. Whereas before, regardless of the weather, I'd have to get up, you know, get out the rooftop tent, climb down the steps and take him for a stroll. And I've got to tell you, at 66, I get a bit unsteady on my feet when I first wake up. But the top of the Dot, without the rooftop tent, is a massive area to carry gear. You know, so it's a real workhorse, and you've still got all the great features. I thought about just getting a trailer and putting an awning on it and such, but I thought I'm going to lose all those great features that the Dot has. And one of the features I absolutely love, apart from the storage and the electrical system set up on it, is the ability to control the ride height independently on the Dot, because this is one of the top of the line Dot, the Drifter. Luke Sutton had designed and was making, and it's got the Cruise Master suspension, and it's just fantastic. I can come into an unlevel site and just adjust the level. Now generally what I like now is, because I'm not sleeping up there, is I like to ride it as low as I can, because that gives me a low working area, low benches, and it just suits me, being a little bit vertically challenged. But yeah, It's a great setup now. It suits the purposes, it meets the needs and the requirements that I need for long-term camping. You know, we're talking about 9 weeks at any one time, any given time. We had some pretty rough weather about a week ago, and not a problem, stood up to it just fine. I mean, the RV style tents, quick to set up and quick to put down, they're a fantastic design, and I highly recommend them. And this was the first setup, a trial setup, just to see what it was going to be like, and I'm just loving it at the moment. It's really suiting me down to the ground. You know, completely off-grid, completely independent. It's just working so well. The drifter awning is just crackerjack. You know, that'll be moved back. We'll tidy up some of these little things that need changing and correcting when I get back to Perth before I head off to Meekatharra. The other thing that I will do differently next time is the RV3 tent, rather than come off the end here, or off the side I should say, will come off this wall here. So what I'll have is, I'll have this wall here, I'll have the RV3, you know, tent here, and that'll be connected to there with the gutter strip that you can get to join to the awning. And I'll have another wall on this side here, which is basically another wall on this side here, which is basically where the RV awning is now. So this will basically move one wall space around to there. That'll give me a fully enclosed area, walkout area here into the RV3 tent, closed area there. The awning will be moved back, so the wall will come around to here, and I'm going to have a slight mod done to replace the panel that's come off there. RV3, another wall, and it'll generate a massive enclosed area. It's just going to be fantastic. So I'm really enjoying the new setup, and I just want you to understand, guys, that I haven't done this because I was unhappy with any of the you know, the rooftop tent and any of the drifter gear that I was using for camping. I still love it, and most of my gear is still the drifter or drifter Stockton stuff. It's a great product, and fantastic products, and you know, like, I see no need to change. If you're on a good thing, stick to it, basically. But the only reason I changed, and just understand this, it wasn't because I was unhappy with the rooftop tent. It's just that the rooftop tent didn't suit the function for me now as a full-time prospector. You know, you need to have a base camp that you can call home, and when you say home, it needs to be like home. You know, you need an area where you can stand up and get changed. You know, you need some of the luxuries that you'd have at home. You need a desk to, you know, to be able to sit at, where you don't have to be putting computers and everything away all the time. And you know, basically, you know, the freezer, I've got a massive pantry area. That's a little bit messy at the moment because I'm throwing stuff around. You know, I'm making coffees and cups of teas. You know, I'm not the tidiest camper. When I'm once I've been out bush a few weeks, things tend to get a little bit messy, but it doesn't take much to tidy up. And you know, being out bush for so long, things tend to get a little bit messy. For me anyway. I'm not the tidiest camper, but this solution that I have now just works an absolute treat. You know, we've got Joe over there. She's starting the fire. Won't be long. How are you, Joe? Hey. So it's getting to that time of day where fire gets lit up. Sun will be down in about in about an hour. We'll have the fire going, and we'll sit around and have a few tree climbers and probably something to eat and a few laughs. I just wanted to mention too, you know, while showing you around the tent, that the induction cooker is this is a game changer for me. It's just fantastic. You know, it's normally quite windy in the Goldfields, not unsurprisingly. I mean, you can see it's windy now, which is good because it helps keep it cool. But everyone knows what a gas cooker's like, you know, when it's windy conditions, especially when it's really windy. You know, you haven't got a hope of hell of you know, cooking on a gas burner with it, even with a decent shield. If it's really windy, it just doesn't work. So that's an absolute godsend. I love it. I'll always have induction cooking, and I've got the gas burner there just in emergency if I have to. The other thing I want to mention too is these sets here now. you know, I wasn't sure how useful, you know, these would be, but I bought a set, you know, where it comes with a basically a double charger, so you can actually double battery attachment that has 2 Anderson plugs where you can run some gear off. This is the light, and also it comes with a soldering iron, you know, clip-on unit as well. Now the beauty about these, I've got to tell you, this is a fantastic light. We use it at the campsite every night, just lights the campsite up. Just, you know, it's surprising how much light you can get out of an LED these days. This one's for the Ryobi. I've got all my rattle gun and electric drills and such. They're all Ryobi, so I use the Ryobi batteries. That I've just charged. You know, so the great thing about them is you just plug. I mean, if you've got a Makita or, you know, Milwaukee or something like that, these come for, I think, for about 6 different brands, pretty much. Bosch as well, I think, pretty much covers all the brands. But these are fantastic. I just love this, and I didn't think that I'd you know, use it a great deal. I really thought it'd be more of a roadside assist thing if I had to work on something at night, but yeah, I use it around the campfire, and we use it around the campfire, and it's just fantastic. It does the job and runs forever on a battery. I think we've had 5 nights of it running, probably 2 hours every night, and it was due for a charge today, so that's great. Loving that.